All right, let's talk about Mayor Pete for a minute, and then we'll go to Kashmir for a minute, and then we'll get close to wrapping up. But TYT Investigates just dropped a huge revelation, which is basically, and we'll play this clip of the great Anna Kasparian summarizing this in a moment. But essentially, there's a bunch of email messages that Mayor Pete has pretty much been like, well, I couldn't even talk about that if I wanted to. I don't know anything about that. The whole conspiracy to fire a black police chief by a cabal of racist people. I don't know anything about that. I think we need to come together as a country. Well, it turns out maybe he did know something about that, according to this really good investigative work from TYT Investigates. Let's play a little bit of Anna summarizing that.
TYT Investigates has seen previously unreported legal documents detailing secret recordings of South Bend police officers allegedly conspiring to work with Buttigieg's campaign donors to influence him to fire and replace Boykins. One officer is quoted as saying, "It is going to be a fun time when all white people are in charge." How do we know about the tapes? Former South Bend Director of Communications, Karen DePape, heard the recordings and described them in an internal police report back in 2012. Over the previous year, first while dealing with dysfunctional phone system equipment for the police department, DePape came across around a dozen recorded conversations that she said alarmed her. In a deposition later, DePape said she listened to the calls because, quote, "It was something I considered illegal." Buttigieg has refused to release the tapes, arguing that it would violate federal wiretap laws. And Buttigieg has said he does not know what's on the tapes and that he's not sure he can even ask. But these legal documents show that city attorneys acting on his behalf did ask, and the city does know. Because after DePape filed a wrongful termination suit, the city attorneys sent her a list of questions about the tapes. And she answered, describing in detail what she heard in these recordings. TYT Investigates has seen the documents revealing what she heard, and here's what they said.
All right.
The documents
let's go. Okay, so we can leave
Shut
that
up,
quote
Anna.
on stain on that.
Sorry,
And that's, what do you know about this, though? I mean, this is pretty significant because this has been like the most, I mean, there's a lot of problems with Pete Buttigieg, but this has been the most concrete. He hasn't had any answers for any of it.
Yeah.
He's been able to dodge it. He hasn't even been asked about it on stage.
He
Or
was
maybe
in the
once.
first
You're
debate.
Right.
There's a natural inclination by the mainstream press to dismiss a lot of anything that comes out of TYT, so like maybe that's part of it too. But I think that there is still reporting that needs to be like continue to be done. But Jonathan's done such a great job in unearthing
Jonathan
this.
Larson shouts
this particular story, and really. So the details are heavy. Let me just try to make sure I get them right down. But there was a black police chief who was basically ousted by these white cops, and they conspired essentially with Buttigieg's donors, and some of them, I guess, also raised money for Buttigieg. Although in Indiana, your financial records can be destroyed legally, which is
let's clear those
of your
up,
donors,
guys. Let's just
which
get a
is
smooth
yeah,
guide.
totally normal.
Yep.
And so there's no way of like actually knowing for sure, except that there were flyers and local data from that time that confirmed that some of these people were donors for Pete Buttigieg, and that basically they were a part of the pressure cooker that got Buttigieg he didn't, I don't know if he directly fired him, but basically ousted this black police chief. And there were something like 25 black police officers before the white police chief came into office, and then there were like 15 after that. So basically they were either ousted or pressured out, or it was such a hostile environment that they had to leave. And some of these court documents or these recorded documents show that, these officers saying it's going to be great when all white people are in charge, things like that. Again, I'm butchering a lot of this because it's cobbled
are the big
together.
Takeaways. And I mean,
yeah,
we'll go to one more clip, but Pete Buttigieg, like, This is, I think people can't, I mean, they couldn't, I can't believe they could do it to begin with, but the time for like woke posturing about Pete Buttigieg is certainly
of the
over.
front runners, of like whatever, the 7 people that could actually win the nomination, I think he's maybe the most dangerous besides Biden.
I agree. You just watched a Michael Brooks show video. Subscribe to get them all. Why wouldn't you? Don't be foolish. Click subscribe below and become a patron as well. Patreon.com/TMBS. Thanks, everybody.